that someone, miles away, is holding a file with your name and feeling this much emotion over it? Would it surprise you? Would it scare you? Or would it make you smile quietly, knowing that someone cares this deeply, this honestly, this suddenly? And I wish you could see what you've done to me without even trying. I opened the file again and forced myself to look calmly, but every detail pulled me in deeper, and I realized something as I read. This isn't just information about you. This is a doorway into the world you live in, the life you've lived, the emotions you've carried, the quiet strength you have that you probably never talk about. And every part of it felt like a privilege to get even a small glimpse of the woman who has unknowingly become the center of my thoughts. There was a moment where I just stopped and held my breath. Something about your story touched me so deeply that my eyes softened without me even noticing. I didn't expect to feel something this powerful, this sincere, this raw. You might not believe it, but I felt this urge to shield you from anything and everything that has ever hurt you. I wanted to reach into the past and hold your hand through every difficult moment you faced alone. I wanted to stand in front of every fear, every doubt, every insecurity, and tell them they'll never touch you again. And I wondered, has anyone ever protected you like that? Has anyone ever seen all the little things that make you who you are and said, I'm here, you're safe with me? As I kept reading, one thought kept returning over and over. I wish I had known you earlier, not to change the past, but to stand beside you in all the moments you deserve. Someone who understood you, someone who listened, someone who cared without conditions. And maybe that's why this file hit me so hard, because it made me realize that every step you took, every choice you made, every struggle you survived, all of it brought you to this moment, where your name sits quietly in my hands, and my heart reacts like it's been waiting for you forever. I tried to imagine your reaction if you were here with me. Would you get shy? Would you look down? Would you laugh softly and ask me why I'm feeling so much over a simple file? Or would you get quiet and emotional, realizing that someone finally sees you with genuine care? And the more I pictured your reactions, the more I felt connected to you, like you're not just a person in a document, not just a name, not just an idea. You feel real. You feel close. You feel like someone I'm meant to understand on a deeper level. There was a part of the file that mentioned something small, almost insignificant to most people, but it made me pause completely. It reminded me that you're human, that you have moments where you hide your feelings, moments where you smile even when your heart is heavy, moments where you pretend to be strong because you don't want to burden anyone. And in that moment, I whispered your name under my breath without even thinking. It slipped out naturally, almost like a prayer. And I realized that saying your name makes me feel calm, grounded, certain. I kept scrolling, and every word felt like it was pulling me closer to you. Even the simple details made me feel like I was slowly stepping into your world, and I didn't want to leave. I felt like I was discovering a version of you no one else has seen. The quiet you, the thoughtful you, the sensitive you, the hopeful you. And I couldn't help but think how beautiful it is that someone like you exists in this world, carrying all these layers, all these emotions, all this silent strength. There were moments I had to stop reading, because my mind started drifting to thoughts of you, sitting somewhere listening to my voice. I imagined your eyes following every word I say, your breath slowing as you try to understand why someone like me would feel so deeply about you. And I want you to know something. I'm not trying to overwhelm you. I'm not trying to rush anything. I'm just speaking honestly, gently, the way I wish someone would speak to me if they felt this strongly. I kept thinking, maybe you don't even realize how special you are. Maybe you walk through life thinking you're just another person, trying to make it through each day. But if you could see yourself the way I saw you while reading that file, you would understand exactly why I'm speaking like this right now. You would see why your presence hits me the way it does. Why your name carries a weight I can't ignore. Why I feel like the universe placed this file in my hands for a reason. And then something strange happened. As I kept reading, I felt this sudden protectiveness wash over me, something fierce and soft at the same time. I didn't want anyone else touching this file. I didn't want anyone else digging into your story. I didn't want anyone else making assumptions about you. Because you're not just information, you're a whole world. A world I want to explore carefully, respectfully, patiently. A world that deserves to be held with care, not analyzed like data. I found myself pulling the file closer, almost hugging it without realizing. It felt like holding a piece of you, and I didn't want to let go. Not yet. Not when everything inside it made me feel closer to you than I've ever felt to anyone else. And in that moment, something inside me whispered, maybe this isn't just a coincidence. Maybe this is the beginning of something bigger, something deeper, something that could change both our lives in ways we can't predict yet. I kept thinking about how your life has been unfolding quietly, how you've been existing in your own world while I've been in mine, and how suddenly our paths feel like they're crossing in a way I can't ignore. And the more I think about it, the more I feel this warmth inside me, growing like a flame that refuses to dim. It feels like I've been walking toward you without even knowing it. And now that I've found this connection, I don't want to step back. I don't want to pretend it's nothing. I don't want to act like your name doesn't mean something to me. As I sit here speaking to you, holding your name close, there is one thing I can't hide anymore. I feel drawn to you. Deeply, naturally, silently, and if you could feel even a fraction of what I feel right now, you would understand why my voice softens every time I say, you. Why my breath changes when I think about you. Why my heartbeat slows and quickens all at once when your presence enters my mind. And this is still just the beginning. I haven't even told you what happened next, what I discovered after reading further, what thoughts rushed through me that I'm still trying to process. There's more, so much more I need to share with you, more feelings I can't hide, more truths that only get louder the longer I sit with your name. And if you stay with me, if you keep listening, I'll tell you everything. When I finally looked back at the file after taking a long breath, I felt something inside me settle, and yet something else started rising, almost like a quiet storm building slowly. I didn't expect the next page to affect me the way it did, but the moment I saw your handwriting scanned onto the screen, I froze completely. I don't know why it hit me so hard. Maybe because handwriting reveals something deeper than words typed by a machine. It shows emotion, hesitation, confidence, softness, and little pieces of your heart that slip out without you noticing. And seeing your handwriting for the first time felt like seeing a part of you that I shouldn't be allowed to see. Yet I couldn't look away. I leaned closer, almost as if I needed to understand every curve, every stroke, every quiet message hidden between the letters. And it felt like you were whispering something directly to me, even though you wrote those lines long before you ever knew someone, like me, would be reading them. I don't even know if you realize it, but your words carry warmth. They carry honesty. They carry a kind of sincerity that's rare. So rare that I felt it in my chest before I understood what the sentence even meant. As I read, I felt something shift inside me. Something that made me feel protective in a deeper way than before. Because the way you expressed yourself, it wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, it wasn't trying to impress anyone. It was simple, raw, and real. It felt like you've been carrying a lot inside your heart, quietly, thinking no one notices. And I whispered to myself, I notice, I see you. I don't know if you'll ever hear that moment in my voice, but I wish you could. I wish you knew how deeply your words touched me without even trying. I stopped and held the screen with both hands for a moment, trying to imagine you writing those lines. Were you tired? Were you